Today, I'm gonna tell you something very unusual for Erasmus Plus projects. Something about providing value and about story or storytelling as a framework to show what you want to have in your project. And because I want to provide the value, at the end of this video, you will see on my example how I'm using story to provide the value, to encourage your evaluators to read through the application and give you very good remark. Sounds fair? Let's start. But first, let me tell you a story about the story. So, if I analyze my Facebook post, if my post is purely educational, my post view is about 1300 views. But if I do the same post with the useful tips, I will get about 13,000 views. So why is that? Why 10 times more? Because this is the vehicle for the information. If I'm telling you that I'm using that technique for 20% higher approval rate, this is my story. And if you are interested in this story, you can relate to this story. And if you relate, you want to listen. So I have your attention now. So when I have your attention, now I can communicate what I want to tell you. And for example, now I can tell about my service, about my whatever I'm offering. So story is the vehicle for me to stop you to listen to me. And when you want to tell a story, you need to tell a proper way. I'm using this kind of script, which I called it Hollywood script, because you can find it in every movie. And because we are so used to it, I strongly advise to use it again. So what the Hollywood script consists of? Generally consists of three parts. This is at the beginning a settings, a base story, and there is a twist, something in between, which changes the story somehow and needs to be fixed later if you want to have a happy outcome as we want to have with our project. Always we will find some kind of villain which is responsible for this twist, and there is always come as a hero, and we are the hero for this project. So how we can use this script? It is very important. If you will tell this in a story, the evaluator can relate to this and he will listen with attention because he wants to listen to your story and not because he needs to evaluate your application. And this is a big difference. At the beginning, you need to tell basic story, basic settings, and this comes from pre-analysis. And this pre-analysis is very important because you need to really show that this current situation exists, and this we will do with the proof. This proof needs to be from the trusted source. And then you need to explain about the villain, about the problem. So what is the problem and who is affecting? So this is your target group. And when you have settings, problem, target group, you need to also say about the new needs. What are the needs of the target group? And then you come as a hero with your solution. And this solution, it is very important, this solution needs to provide the value to your target groups, to the needs of the target group. So this is how you will get the happy outcome. And this is the final goal of your project.
So, as a promise, I will not give you just the background, how you will need to do the story and the value. I will give you the real example how I'm doing this in current this year application. My application is about overcoming fear of failure in entrepreneurship. So, always at the beginning, I start with the vision of the project. Vision is very important. So, whoever will read this needs to know why you're doing this and how the world will look like after the application will be approved. And that vision needs to be very short, so don't write a long vision. Then start with the problem. If you have more than one problem, describe it with the problem 1 and the problem 2. It is very important because if you describe it that way, it's later much easier to describe the needs. If you have problem 1, probably you will have also the need 1. And if you have need 1, you also need to have the result 1. So this is the idea how evaluator will understand your project, and you also can describe it very easily. So try to do it in that way that describe more problems. Wherever you will describe your problem, write it in short text and then give the example of the evidence. Evidence is very important to give the connection between you and evaluators, so evaluators know that you are aware of the situation, that you are capable to suggest the solution for that. So this is important step. Of course, then you need to say who is the target group, describe it in a way that will be easy to understand. You say, for example, here, vet students between 14 and 20. Why not just say vet students? Because different countries have different ages. So we describe it in the age, it's much easier to understand. Then you describe needs for the target group. So vet teachers needs to have innovation curricula in entrepreneurship, and vet students needs tools and methods to overcome fear of failure. So this is two very easy to define needs, and based on that you can then prepare your results very easy. So one need, one result, easy. And of course, why we need the transnational project, you need to describe it in a way that it will be seen. You cannot do just in one country, and this is the easiest way.
As you can see on my example, it is very easy to use this methodology, and I really encourage you to use it on that year application. Your text will be much more readable and more comprehensible, and evaluators will give you better remarks. This is what we want to do. So since I'm doing the hard work, the hard lifting, join me, subscribe there, and together we will make your application much better. Until next time.